Welcome to the Spice of Life podcast, where we take bold risks, build real wealth, and use money as a tool for freedom and legacy. I'm Luke Spicer, and each week we uncover the principles of ownership, independence, smart risk taking, from silver and gold to business and life. Whether you're an investor, entrepreneur, or tradesperson building something lasting, this show is about creating freedom today and legacy for tomorrow. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Spice of Life podcast. I'm super excited today. I've got the one and only John Hackleman from the pit coming on. Yeah, boom. How are you, John?
Good.
Good.
Fantastic. Like Groundhog Day.
Like,
Same day.
yeah, like Groundhog Day.
Same day.
Every day's
Every day
every
is the
day's the
same.
same. I don't believe it. I think for you, even though you say that every day is the same, you still have you've had some exciting things happen in your life, even lately, right?
Yeah. Chuck's wedding.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you gotta bring out the whole crew. There's a lot of vets there and UFC veterans and things
Yeah.
hanging out. I
I got
noticed
to be
Tito
the best
wasn't there
man.
though.
I got to be the best man.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That was crazy.
I was surprised Tito wasn't there.
Uh,
No.
I don't think that.
I'm just joking.
There's, I'm surprised.
Um,
I'd be surprised. I was actually surprised Randy Couture didn't show up
yeah.
because they're not great friends, but I mean, there's a few people that he wasn't great friends with, but he was, and Randy lives there in Vegas.
Right.
But anyway, he wasn't there. I wish he was.
Yeah. That's where it was in Vegas.
Yeah, I was at the Red Rock.
Right on. Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it looked like a nice venue from what I saw online and what you were posting and things like that. But that's pretty good. Quite an honor to be there with him. I mean, you guys have been together for how long have you and Chuck been training? Like how long has he been a student and of yours?
90, 90. I think 92 or 3.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so how long has the pit been open? When did you officially open your gym?
85.
85. Damn. Yeah, I saw that actually my coach that I trained with, forever, where I got my black belt and stuff as well through Lyle. He had posted the other day that it was his 50th anniversary of the gym, right? And I went on there to argue with it because I was like, man, there ain't no way. And then as I started to type it, I was like, oh shit, I started there 29 years ago. Damn, I'm old as hell too. So I guess it's been around a really long time. So yeah, 84 you said, or 85? Sorry.
85.
85.
I
Wow.
started training in 70.
Okay. Yeah. And now you have a gym in California, right? For
Yeah.
those that don't know. But do you also have a gym in Hawaii?
No,
You just go to Hawaii for the gradings and stuff?
we go to Hawaii at least once a year for black belt testing, which we have 17 going for the black belt this year. And we call it test, but it's not really a test. It's more of a ceremonial thing. I already know everybody's going to be a black belt when we go, but they go through some of the workouts I used to do when I was a kid. So we go to some of my old neighborhoods and we do certain things, go up this hill, go spar at that gym, go to the beach and wrestle at that beach, and just stuff that I've been doing since 1970, really. So I bring them back kind of a pilgrimage or, I don't know what we call it. It's our tradition, it's our
Yeah.
culture, what we do. So we do that
Hey,
every year, and that's the first week in November.
okay. Now,
Yeah.
have you done that every year since you opened your gym?
Some sort. Like Chuck went over to Hawaii, but it wasn't the ceremonial stuff has changed over the years, but it's always been Hawaii involved. In fact, we would go over there, or while he was still alive, we'd bring my instructor here to California to help with the black belt testing. Like he was he was he was there with me when Chuck got his black belt, and then he died in 2001. So
Okay. Oh, well, that was a long time ago. And then so I just saw stuff on your Instagram. It looked like you guys were just there, or was that like memory stuff from last year or something like that?
no, my wife and I did, like, we go over every November, but sometimes we try to throw an extra trip or two over there.
Okay. Oh, so you were just recently there
Yeah,
then. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I thought we were talking about that, and Chuck came out there with you, and so then does he usually come for the black belt grading ceremony and stuff
Uh,
still, or it just depends what's going on in his world?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, with him, I know to bring him over, I just know what he misses, back home. Like, that's why he makes his living. But I like, of course of course he's not going to charge me. I'm not going to, pay him to come. He doesn't even charge me for the flight or the room or anything. So he's on his own
Right.
dime. And the last time, so I only ask him like if I really want him to. Like last year, my wife got her black belt, and
Oh,
that was a
cool.
really big one, especially for me. So he was nice, and he was nice enough to come over, and Glover's the same. Glover got so much shit going on right now. He has, not only was he a UFC champion, but he also is training UFC champions and UFC fighters. So
Right.
as busy as he is, he'll come over and help me out too. So he's coming this year, which is
Okay.
next week actually.
Oh, you go next week. Okay. That's neat. So you guys are there for, I guess, yeah, next week is the end of the month. Yeah, duh. It's my birthday next week, so I
Oh,
should know that, but on the end of the month. But when you guys head over there, then is it a like how long are you normally there? Like what's the ceremony like? Is it just done over a day, like, or is it a few days that you guys are doing training and going through stuff, or what's it typically look like?
it's usually 2 or 3 days. Lately, it's been two all the time because so 2 days people come over usually on Sunday. We do the ceremonial stuff on Monday and Tuesday, and then we do the ceremony at Tuesday night, the belt ceremony. So after Tuesday night, everybody's free to do whatever they want. They can just hang out in Hawaii as long as they want. We usually come back Saturday. So we go over Sunday, come back Saturday. Usually that's our routine. And we always stay at the Hilton Hawaiian,
Right. Yeah. And what island are you guys on when you go do that?
Oahu.
Oahu. Okay, yeah. I know I've been to Hawaii so many times over the years, but I always go to the big island on Waikoloa. That's where we always were. A couple times in Hilo, and I met so many good people in Hawaii that train and do that kind of stuff. So it was funny. One of the first years I ever went to Hawaii, I was in this restaurant and in Waikoloa Village, and the waiter comes over. He's a tatted up, a Hawaiian guy. He's got the cauliflowered ears, and I was like, "Oh, so do you train?" And he's like, he kind of looks at me, and he's like, "Yeah, I do jujitsu." I was looking for gyms when I was out here, but I said it's really hard to find a gym. And he like starts looking at my ears. I was like, "I don't do MMA, man. I just kickbox." And I said, I can, I can roll around a little bit. And anyway, he invited me back to his like garage gym, and so I went out there the next day, and we trained, and he brought in a bunch of local guys that are training with him, and he's a black belt, and he trains with, I forget who he got his black belt from, on the island, and but he's legit, and it's pretty neat though to see and go, and then just meeting all the locals, and then becoming such good friends with them. So like every year when I'd come out, I'd bring gear, and we'd always train together and do stuff. That's one of the best things with the martial arts world I found, is like when you can meet really solid people, you can tour around and see them and train, and brings people together in a good way. I find so. You keep in touch with a lot of people back home then, or like back in Hawaii when you do these ceremonies, like with your instructor gone, is there people from that gym that have continued on that lineage that you still stay in touch with?
Not much. It was no, not as many as I want. I have a couple guys that trained back then, but most of the people that trained back then are long gone. But I do stay in touch with my schoolmates that I went to, high school with, and intermediate school. We usually get together with one of them. One of them was a famous chef over there, Warren Sasaki, and I went to high school with him. And we were really good friends, and he does the ceremonial. They make like a barbecue and stuff, and he does it. And I mean, the guy's a fucking. just phenomenal chef, and he makes us this meal that's crazy. So he does that, and then I just have some, like my old high school teacher. One of them comes out and just talks to the guys, and just I don't know. It's a touchback in the past. Like Glover, when he promotes his guys to black belt, he brings them here at my gym because that's where he started. So he wants his people to see, how he got his beginnings. So we do Madonna Mountain, we do Grover Beach, we do the gym at the pit. So we do the kind of workouts he used to do when he was coming up. So he likes to show his students. So his students come here to promote for their black belt, and this is their ceremony, and I go to Hawaii for mine.
Right.
Uh,
Where's Glover's gym?
Connecticut.
Oh, okay. So it's a ways away then. Okay. So then they fly out, they do their thing. And I was just like scrolling on your Instagram today. I saw you guys were doing pushing wheelbarrows up the hill, full of weights. And I remember when when I first went to Jay's gym, McDonald, because he's a friend of mine back here in Red Deer. And we were training, and then they loaded up this wheelbarrow full of weights, and we had to, like, push it through the parking lot and run around and do all this stuff. And I was like, man, I just came from work. This is what I do at work. I push wheelbarrows full of concrete. What are we talking about here? I got to do this at the gym now too. And he's like, it's so good for, all these different mobility is connecting everything, right? You're pushing, you got to keep your core strong and all that, but it's one of those very underlooked exercises that can be done. So it's neat when I see other people, especially at your caliber, implementing pushing a wheelbarrow full of weight and up a hill. How high is that elevation where you guys are pushing it normally?
Um, we have just so many different workouts over the years. We started that, and CrossFit brought it into their games
Yeah.
after they came out here and trained with me with that wheelbarrow. But it has to be up a hill, and I don't really like this the slide. The slide's the next best thing where you push it on the ground. It has friction and resistance, but there's nothing better than gravity for working out. So we go up the hill with it. These are custom made wheelbarrows that they were, they welded extra weight on them. Like some of them are up to 200 pounds, just the wheelbarrow.
Oh,
Uh,
dang.
and so we go up a hill. Our hill is about a quarter of a mile up, and it's about an average of 14 grade. So it's about 14%. So it's kind of like this, it's so you it's I mean it's doable, but the weight, it all changes everything. So like now you have to put your body weight in it. So guys that are 200 pounds, they have to put the weight, it has to be 200 pounds. And now it starts getting hard. Now you start doing other things, add to it. Like, well, let's do your weight and a half. And that starts, making it like really, really, really hard. So it's a great workout. We love it. It's cardio, it's pushing, it's pulling, because you could turn it down and pull. You could put it backwards and pull it up, just like you're pulling in a fight. Yeah, it's one of our workouts. It's probably the mainstay workout that is we're most popular for, and I don't know, is the most regular. We do a lot of things over and over, but that and burpees is probably
I hate
what we're known for.
Yeah, I hate burpees. They're like the worst exercise ever, which is why they're good. You know, it's like coaches drop down and give me burpees. It's just like, oh man, this is brutal. Um, and then the guys, obviously, because now you go up the hill, you got to go down. How many times do they typically run that hill in a training session?
Yeah, it depends on the workout. Sometimes they'll go once up it, then they'll bring dumbbells down and then carry the dumbbells back up, and then they'll put a 100-pound um, medicine ball. Then they got to run that down. Then they got to throw that back up. Or sometimes they do the wheelbarrow. Just they go up and down with a wheelbarrow 3 times in a row for time. There's an infinite amount of workouts that you can add with all these things. all you need is the ground and gravity, and that hill really, our hill is, you know, makes everything harder
Right.
because of gravity, obviously. But so that's we just come up with stuff as we go, and then
So
sometimes they go up to the front, up to the top, and they gotta go run in and hit the bag for 5 minutes, and they go do a couple. I mix it up with that.
right, because the gym is at the top of the hill then.
Yeah, the gym. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's cool. So with all the years of fighting, do you and training fighters, do you have anybody active right now that's like that's gonna be, one of your next big scrappers out there? Are you training anybody that's like coming up on it, or what's
Yeah,
happening these
I
days?
mean, yes and no. I'm like, if they do, I'll bring them up there, but then I send them to Antonio now, Antonio Banuelos. I'm not doing the hands-on training of MMA fighters right now. I'm just doing like MMA camps and MMA, seminars and stuff. But I don't want to travel. I don't be in a corner right now. I don't want to. I just want to run my gym right now. So if they really get serious, then they train with me part of the time, and Antonio does most of the MMA, wall work, rolling and sparring and stuff, and then they come to me for just the regular Hawaiian Kempo classes right now. But I
Right.
do have a few that are actively fighting, and a couple more that want to fight, and they know, once they do, they'll be going to Antonio.
Right. And that's just the process now, which
Yep.
makes sense. I mean, you're doing so. What's next for you? Like, what are you hoping to do with your gym and business and stuff?
I think the gym thing is gonna, like, I make like this much online, doing online. I have online dojo, online, courses. So I make about this much, and then it's this much for my gym. I make a lot more at my gym, right? I spend a lot more time and make a lot more, but I want it to be about here in a couple more years where it's even, and then in about less than 10 years, I want it to be like this. I want to make a lot less time, energy, and stuff on my gym, and most of it's just going to be online, just me like teaching stuff online or talking online or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean that makes sense. You can reach more people too. I mean, that's probably one of the most underutilized things that I've seen in the martial arts world, and rightfully so, because obviously, nothing beats hands-on training, in a facility with a coach when you're learning to do something. But what are you teaching in your online courses then for martial arts? Like what is it, or explain that a little bit more.
Well, I have a couple of just courses on specifics like takedown defense, left hooks, power punching, conditioning for a fight, and then I have an online dojo where people can just come on whenever, and they get my curriculum that I'm teaching at the school, all videoed, and so they get access to that, and that's the main stuff I'm putting on the dojo online, and that's I kind of want to build that up a little more, little by little, because I'm definitely still going to be at the gym a lot more, and I don't have time for full time of both.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I do want to switch it where it's like an 80-20, and 80% will be online.
Yeah.
So that's all. But I
Yeah.
love right now. No, right now. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Of course not. No, I mean you got a good brand, you got a good thing. How many students do you have these days in the gym?
Just like between 250 and 300.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
And and I it's hard to judge when you have it. How big's your facility? Like how many people are in a class typically?
a lot. Like we started at 10, and then now we're like, usually there's like 20, and then for my classes usually 20 to 30.
Because you have a few instructors, I assume, they're teaching now as well.
Yeah, my son's teaching here, and a couple of my students, and my wife teaches, and it's more of a family thing now, but well, and I'll stay that way. It'll just be less of me, but it's always going to be a family gym. I mean, everybody's a family at that gym.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're there training, especially if your son's been doing. Is he do that full time with you too? He's like fully committed to the gym, and that's his life and career.
No, no, he's starting off just a few classes, and we'll build that up. Right now, he works for one of my black belts that has a business out here.
Oh, what else? What does he do then for work?
It's called Rugged Radio, and he what he mainly does. That company mainly does is provide two-way radios for mainly off-road racing, but also for first responders. Like the cops always come to him for for the helmets that have their walkie-talkies in them and stuff. So he does all that kind of stuff. It's all walkie-talkie type stuff.
Oh,
Does
cool.
really well. He has
Yeah.
over 50 employees, and he does real well.
Oh, nice. And then your son just works as your sales guy there?
No, he's like shipping the stuff off because it
Okay.
goes all over the world.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's neat. And then how many kids do you have, John?
About half half. We're like unlike most martial arts school, which are usually about 15 to 20% adults and 80 plus percent kids. We're right around 50-50. So we're about 50% of our students are kids and about 50 are adults.
So some of the older instructors that I know, they don't enjoy teaching kids. Do you like teaching kids?
I like it, but I don't want to do it right now. It's like you pay your dues to do it, and
Fair, yeah. They're a lot of work. I remember one time I taught a kickboxing like kids class at another gym for a while because I was trying to debate. I was trying to get away from construction and I was like, oh, maybe if I start teaching. And we had like I don't know what I had like 20 kids in there like under they were under 10, I think. Like they were little, like 6 to 10, something like that, 6 to 12. And I remember there was this one kid, man, and he just wouldn't listen. And he would be like climbing on the cage. And I was like, get over here. And there's the parents are all looking down. And I finally, one day, I just like grabbed this kid, put him under my shoulder, walked up the stairs. I was like, whose kid is this? And the mom was like, it's mine. I was like, he can't stay. You got to figure this out. But like, I can't deal with this. This is costing all the other kids their time. And I walked back downstairs. I was like, if he can get it under control and you can figure it out, he's welcome back. But I can't deal with this today. And walked back down. And after class, the kind of the gym general manager was like, hey, I got to talk to you, and like you can't be doing that. And I was fed up. I was like, listen, I said, yeah, he's a paying student. I understand that, but it's affecting 12 other kids, and a bunch of the other parents were there. They're like, yeah, if that continues, they all have my back. But I just remember, like, man, and I enjoyed it. But God, was it ever a lot of work? Like at least when you got an adult that's not listening, you could maybe do sparring and then you could teach them a couple things. But yeah, how many nights a week do you guys do sparring and stuff?
Uh, depends on the class, but my class is usually first days all like book learning. It's not book learning. I mean, we're doing techniques, but it would be like in college. It would be like book, your day, and then you have a clinical day, right? When you go in the like when I was becoming a nurse, one day we'd all be in the classroom, and then one day a week we'd be at the clinic. So you go to the hospital and practice stuff, and so we kind of do that with our training. The first day we're all teaching a technique, or usually 3 to 4 techniques, and then the next class they're using it in drilling and sparring. So that's how we do that. And then Friday is an open sparring, kind of like jujitsu. Like we have an open mat where they can just roll. On Saturdays, Fridays they can come in and just spar, just stand up and spar.
Yeah, nice. And with Kempo, like you guys do involve shots to the groin, correct? Do you do that in sparring, or am I crazy?
Do they do?
Shots to the groin?
They don't usually, but they can if they want. I always, I tell them, I always say, if you're not wearing a cup, that's on you. But groin shots are open. And like my fight team, no, but my regular students, they never do, I think, because then the other guys will kick them back there. So
Right, yeah. But I mean, but within Kempo, like it's within the rule set to do that, correct?
in the rules to spar,
No,
yeah.
no, like Kempo, like I thought, like is Kempo not like do you not teach the groin shot as one
Oh, not
of
not really. I we do a
oh,
lot. We would do ice. We do some eye attacks, some throat attacks. But groin to me, not because nothing about legality of it. It's just to me, it's not. It's a really ineffective weapon, a target. I don't think it's a good target at all. I think people that want to walk through groin kicks, because I have, and keep fighting, and it's a hard target. It's like to try to hit it, you have to it's hit or in UFC they do it, but it's by accident.
right, yeah.
So when you're attacking the groin, unless you're right there and you're grappling and it's right there where you can see it, when you're standing up and you're trying to attack the groin, it's not an easy target to hit. And I rather attack throat and eyes and then try to spend a lot of time on the groin. But it's there for you if you want it.
Yeah.
The art
Yeah. Yeah,
is
like
there.
anything.
Yeah, if
Uh,
you want it, if it's there for you, go for it. But just like I don't feel like I don't know, I don't feel like kidneys are a good shot, but so I don't. But
right.
yeah, so you can, but well, we don't really push it.
You know, yeah, yeah, I agree with you as far as like the cups. I mean, always trained in Muay Thai, right? So I'd always have the steel tie-up cup, right? Because it's like a heck of a lot better than, a plastic groin cup or what, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was lucky. I never really had any major injuries down there. I never got really hurt anywhere. I was blessed in that regard, fighting and I mean broken nose a few times, but other than that, pretty blessed. Did you have any major injuries from training or fighting over your career?
Might be long range. I'll find out. I'm finding out. There's probably some long term ones like memory and shit like that, but and just but I no physically broke my knuckles a couple times. Nose, obviously. I mean, I used to have a Jewish nose, but obviously that's changed. But nothing else, not really. Yeah.
When the system shakes, paper wealth disappears overnight, but real wealth, it doesn't flinch. Gold and silver have outlasted every currency ever printed. The question isn't if this next storm comes, it's what will you do when it does. Visit learnwealthcycles.com. You too can own what's real. So with your online course then, how much time are you dedicating to it now so that you can start to grow it? Is it even a focus right now or is
No,
it just
that's
kind
the
of
whole thing. It's like, I mean, some things might have like on my online or my social media stuff might help it, indirectly, but directly, no, I'm not. I got a platform. I pay every month for it. It's not that expensive, so I don't mind it. And that's what I host my things on. But I spend directly from my online program, I probably spend 20 minutes a week.
right? Yeah.
I just once I start, I'm gonna go all in on it, and I think it'll grow, and I think it'll be really good. I just haven't yet because I'm doing other things.
Yeah. What else is keeping you busy then? Just the school?
Yeah, the school and the family. I'm getting more grandkids now. I got my daughter and my son are both pregnant, so there's that, and then I have grandkids already. Just more family stuff,
How
and the
many
gym.
how many kids do you have? Just your son and daughter, or do you have other ones?
No, I have biologically four, and then really seven. So because she had three, um, my wife.
Right.
So and I had four biologically of my own,
Oh,
but
yeah. Okay.
but they're all part of the family. So it's actually my daughter's birthday today, Jelly Bean.
Oh,
I think she's 42 right now.
okay.
It is. That's my
Okay.
youngest girl too. Or no, that's my middle girl. My youngest girl is 31, I think. Then my oldest girl is 45.
Okay. Yeah, same. Well, close to me. I'm 44. Well, happy birthday to her today. That's a good.
Yeah.
Do the kids live?
Jelly.
Do they
If
live
she's
close to you?
watching this,
Yeah, do they live close to you in California?
No, Jelly lives, she's in Hawaii.
Okay. Like on Oahu?
No, she moved to they moved to the Big Island. They live on the Kona side, and my sister lives on the Kona side. Them all the other kids are on the mainland, and one is not. Yeah, so the other one is in South Dakota. My oldest is in South Dakota.
Nice. Yeah, man, I do. It's been so long since I've been to Hawaii. I really miss it. I want to get back there. I love the Kona side. But it was like I remember the first time I ever went there because what we see in often what's showcased on TV or online, movies and stuff of Hawaii, it's usually one of the older islands with it's like all tropical and stuff. You don't really see the Kona side in pictures. And I remember getting off there and I thought I landed on the freaking moon and there's like just lava rock everywhere. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This isn't what I signed up for. And then you get up north and you're like, okay, this is more like what I expected. But it was trippy the first time I landed there.
Yeah, I do not. Yeah, I've never been. I've never been like a fan of the Big Island. I love Oahu because that's where I'm from. But the other ones are prettier. But I don't really. I just they're just like to me they're
Yeah.
traps. That's all. That's why I love Oahu because you have the beauty, but you also have the city and the people watching and the crowd. Like I like going to LA more than I like going to like one of the Yosemite or something where there's hardly any people. I'd much rather spend time in LA.
Oh, you like people, you like big crowds?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really? Yeah.
That's why I like Oahu. Oahu's, almost 1 million people on that little tiny island.
Right. So there's tons of people everywhere. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I yeah, I'm not a fan of big crowds. It's weird. I used to, but as I get older, I like the country. I'm out in the country and I just like hanging out, my wife and girls and not being around the big crowds and people. They aggravate me, I think sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, but to me it's more entertaining. Like
That's true.
I love the beauty of where I live. We live on 3 beautiful acres, and Arroyo Grande, California is to me that's home for the rest of my life. But sometimes I gotta go. We just gotta go somewhere. And when I go to Hawaii, I want Oahu, Honolulu. And when I California to visit, go somewhere to visit, it's gonna be LA, Santa Monica. I just want.
The people.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I mean that's fair for sure. So with the gym and your life and whatever, it's just pretty consistent. You're just doing the same old. Do you ever make it out to any of the big fights anymore? Do you still go to the some of the UFC cards or not often?
We're gonna go, Chuck. We were gonna do last one where Alex fought. So me and Chuck were gonna go and sit there and do like do our pit sign when Alex goes up. But we both got really busy, so neither one of us went. I don't think Chick went at all, but we ended up not going. So, but we want to go to one in LA and just to hang out like the old days. So we'll probably
Yeah.
do that in the next few months.
Oh, because they got an LA card coming up.
No, I want to do it. Yeah, that or Vegas.
Right.
I think Vegas where it all started, and Vegas is kind of the fight capital of the
Oh,
world.
man.
So we like
Vegas
it
is
there.
so different to go to fights. Like
Oh
I
God,
remember we went to Columbus, Ohio, and when Jason fought Rich Franklin, and like it was a nightmare. There was like not the cabs. The Arnold Classic was on the same weekend, but there was like, after the fight, I think we waited like 2 hours to get a cab because there just wasn't cabs coming. The infrastructure wasn't there. I've been to so many fights in Vegas and it's just like a normal night for them. They're used to it. It's set up like it's enjoyable. The crowds are
love
different
it.
there. It was so fun. We went to quite a few at like the Palms and yeah, man, I've been to quite a few fights in
Yeah,
Vegas.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no place. Even I love LA, but for a fight, I mean, where are you gonna go? It's the casinos, and I don't know. Vegas, to me, Vegas is by far the best place to have fights.
Yeah. So when you think back to a lot of the guys and the careers that the different fighters have had coming out of your gym and starting out and coming through things, what are some of the more memorable fights that you guys had that you coached and cornered? Do any of them stand out?
Yeah, they all do. Like, from Chuck to Glover to Tim Kennedy to, John Polakowski, Luke Rittering, Scott Lighty, Eric Schwartz. I mean, there's been a lot. And Eric Schwartz is the guy that beat Glover in his first fight. And he was our guy. Um, but yeah, there's so many because I think had my first like started working corners in like 78. I think I worked my first corner, and it's just been there's been a lot since then. So
Yeah.
I think probably the bigger fights have been the bigger fights, like mainly Chuck and Glover, and you know, so
Yeah, those are different environments, all the lead ups and everything to them and like walking around and and especially if you're in Vegas and
oh
touring
yeah,
around and checking out shit, being mobbed by everybody, it's definitely
crazy.
a crazy experience for
That's
sure.
great. Court McGee, yeah,
Yeah.
Ramsey, McGee and Ramsey, they went through. I mean, huge fights too. I mean, they're not as big name like, Chuck and Glover or whatever, but I mean, Ramsey and Court won Ultimate Fighter, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And he came out swinging into the UFC, he kind of, he's working his way back right now, but he started off like, and so did Ramsey, Steven Seiler. I mean, he
Court
bought
still.
some he beat some big names.
Yeah.
So he was really exciting. So there's been some really exciting, memorable, fights that I've got to been a part of.
Court's still fighting, is he?
Yeah, probably one or two more, maybe. I don't know.
I know I still well
Um,
we talked about that before like because Nick Ring was on the season with Court and
yeah,
Nick's a friend of mine from back
yeah.
here in Alberta and I called him that day after we were chatting but he was like just I was like hey man I was like I just want to chat with you he's like oh are you in Calgary and I was like no I'm not in town I'm just but I should come down and I just said we were chatting and I said you'll have to have to get together or something him and me there's a bunch of those guys that I still see but a lot like being in the fight world too for so long, like I started fighting when I was 16. So that was back in like 98. And but yeah, a lot of guys like as I got older, right? Now they're still fighting because they're 10 years younger than me. So they got a long road ahead. It's neat to see, but the fight game's changed so much, in the last 30 years. There's a it's a very different approach. I mean, I can remember fighting, and we were fighting in like bars and stuff like that, and they'd set up the kickboxing ring at like a nightclub or something, and you'd be fighting in there or a ballroom of a local casino of sorts, and that'd be like the back in the pancration days for when Chuck started and you guys were doing those kind of fights. Um, yeah, now big stages everywhere, right? There's a lot of local promotions that still run pretty big shows, so it's kind of a different experience for the young fighters to show up and see this like, you know, um, promoted and aired. They're on the internet or they're streaming them, and people are able to watch them. And it's like you got these young guys, it's their first or second fight, and they're on a live stream show, which is nothing like that was happening back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you have
Or
the-
even earlier for me, it would have been the 70s.
right?
That was a long time.
How many times did you compete and fight?
Ah, man.
Really?
We've tried to count. I was trying with my old buddies. Pete Sugarfoot, right? He's from Edmonton.
Yeah.
And we were trying to count. It was close to 300, you
Jesus.
know. Because I started fighting at 14. That's when I had my first official fight. I had the first no holds barred fight at 16. Um, but when I think about so many tournaments, because so many fights were tournaments, like even smokers, and then there was this all every week there was a couple of them, and then, you know, and that started so young. So if we count him back that way, I would figure there's a couple hundred, maybe 300, but a lot of them they wouldn't be counted. They weren't official regulated fights. But to me, if somebody's trying to swing and take my head off, and I have to stop him by trying to take his off, it's a fight.
Fair.
To
Yeah,
me,
fair. Yeah.
yeah, like sparring. If you're, you know, I would consider a lot of my sparring matches fights. I don't, but if I wanted to, I mean, a lot of times guys would come in. You're just trying to knock each other out just as much as any fight you've ever been in, but they call it sparring because you're not officially fighting in a
Yeah.
sanctioned fight. So, I mean, we go to different gyms and there'd be guys your weight that might be fighting you someday. So, your trainer asked their trainer, "Hey, you got anybody 175? My guy's got a fight coming up in a couple weeks." Oh yeah, my guy's 175 over there. Yeah, go with him. And we don't know each other. We're not from the same camp. We're not from the same gym. So it's a fight. I mean, we just would swing, for however many rounds or if somebody got knocked out.
Right. Yeah, definitely training have you evolved your training? Because I know now, like, I mean, obviously the 70s and 80s was probably even more aggressive, like you're explaining in the gyms. And then I know in the early 2000s, we used to have our open mat on Sunday and it was like, open sparring and everybody'd come down. And if we were training for fight camps, it honestly, we would spar until somebody was bleeding, is usually
Yeah.
the way it seemed to be. And then I'd be like, hey, well, we've had enough now. And it was like, oh my God, like, looking back and I don't see that anymore in the gyms, right? Guys are like light stepping around and easy sparring and whatever else. They're not doing the same kind of hard sparring. And now there's all this talk about head trauma and things like that, right? And that maybe hard sparring is not the way to go. But I find that the fighters, from back in the day seem to have a much different grittiness to them, you know?
Yeah, no, you know what? I mean, remember James Walker, short, stocky, heavyweight kickboxer.
Right?
Do you
Yeah.
remember him?
No, James.
Jim Walker. Was it Jim Walker? God dang it. He fought, he won a title. He did Murray Smith. He beat Murray Smith.
Okay.
And I think he was from Edmonton.
James Walker?
Yeah, that's what I'm
It says
thinking.
world heavyweight kickboxing champion.
Yeah, are you finding it?
Yeah, it said he died last year,
Oh shit. Sorry about
July
that.
9th. No, I don't. I mean, I don't. Yeah,
He's
said
from
he
there,
died in
right?
Vancouver. What's that?
Wasn't he from Edmonton or something?
I'm just looking up. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, lived in Germany, Edmonton,
There
Vancouver.
you go.
Yeah,
He's the guy. He's the guy I was thinking. I couldn't remember his name, but they wouldn't let us spar because me and him would go at it so much. Um, like dirty. We would turn dirty. Like we got ugly with each other, and we were training at the Jet Center.
Does that
And
look like? Is that who you're thinking of?
wait, I can barely see that picture.
Uh,
Oh, here it is. Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That could
that's
be
it.
that could be him. But I that
I
look.
mean, probably it says world kickboxing champion. His nickname was the Stalker.
Yeah, I don't remember, but we
Okay.
would go at it, man. We would like I said, we get dirty. We'd like try to push each other out of the ring. I mean, hit each other from behind. We we didn't not like each other, but when we sparred, we tried to hurt each other, and so they wouldn't even let us spar together at the Jet Center. Benny was like, "No, you guys, you can't even control yourselves. You can't spar anymore." And that was he died last year.
That's what it said. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think back to like different people and running into them. And yeah, Maurice Smith, I fought one of his guys in Vancouver, in a kickboxing match.
yeah.
Well, Kelowna. It was Kelowna that we fought, actually. Yeah. Back in the amateur days. Like, I mean, and even that, like that's kind of like you said, like the amateur days, we still fought with 10-ounce gloves, no shin pads, no headgear. It's like, well, what's the difference? Well, a 3 minute to a 2 minute round, but we still fought 5 twos. So it's like, and you're fighting for a knockout. So it's same shit, a shin across the face is a shin across the face. So
Yeah, I don't think and I think I've been more tired after a 3 round amateur war than a 10 round pro um you know s- when you're trying to have a strategy and you're trying to do this and this. Whereas the 3 3 minute rounds, you know, we would just go all out and in an amateur fight, and there, I'd be more exhausted after one of them half the time, you know.
Well, especially as younger, because you have that adrenaline dump and you're not really used to it. You don't know what to expect, especially when you're like newer, right? And you're younger in those younger days and the lead up for that fight. I always laugh when people talk about, ring fighting versus street fighting and stuff. And it's like, but you don't have time to, the street fighting is an adrenaline thing and it happens right away. Where like when you're going out to fight, it's like you got to weigh in the day before, or sometimes it's the day of, right? The AMI days, we'd weigh in the morning and fight that night. And so there wasn't a big weight cut, but you're kind of like you meet your guy the night before at the weigh-ins, and then, and then now you got to wait like 24 hours, where you're anticipating this inevitable, scrap and then you're gonna get hit. And it for me, it was always like until I got in the ring and I'd get punched that first time, and then as soon as you get hit, it'd be like, all right, now we're going into something. Just like when we started talking, um, just becomes that consistency, right? You've done it enough times, you just get used to it. You're like, oh, I guess we're fighting now. Now's the time to go, you know?
Yeah. And I don't think you worry. I mean, you don't want to get tagged on the chin and get knocked out. That's one thing, but there's no fear really of getting hit. There's just a fear of looking bad, like either
Yeah.
getting knocked out or just looking terrible. But there's the fear of getting hurt is pretty much non-existent. It's always a fear of letting down the fans and your family, you know. So
In
that's
your gym.
yeah, your gym. Yeah. So that was to me, that was always a bigger thing, you know, like when I got in, kind of.
I
Yeah.
uh I appreciate you coming on. I think it's great. Where can the fans find you online? I know what it is, but where can they find you? And how
The
do they
pit
get a link to your online courses?
the pit.tv.
.tv, that's where the course is.
Pit.tv. The
Okay.
pit.tv.
Yeah. John, thank you very much for coming on, my man. I appreciate you.
Love it.
We'll chat soon. I'll
We
tag you when
will.
you share it. Okay,
Thanks,
brother.
brother.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. When the system shakes, paper wealth disappears overnight. But real wealth, it doesn't flinch. Gold and silver have outlasted every currency ever printed. The question isn't if this next storm comes, it's what will you do when it does. Visit learnwealthcycles.com. You too can own what's real.